More debugging with pointers and GDB on the Unix server. The next thing we're going to look at is invalid pointer references. So two PTRs pointing to null, an integer x, make PTR point to x, put a value in PTR, print it. So far, so good. Then we take QPTR, which is pointing to null, and put its value into PTR. That means PTR now is being set to null as well. And then we try to put a value in there. So now PTR is not pointing to anything because of statement 11. And statement 12 will have an error because PTR is not pointing to anything. So perhaps we meant to do QPTR equals PTR, right? So depending on what you're doing, it's always good to try these things using GDB. So here's that same code. We have two PTRs. Everything is good until this line when PTR points to QPTR, which is null. So if you try to do this using your GDB, I've already compiled it, so let's just go ahead and run it. It's called invalid PTR. And let's put a breakpoint on line. Again, we'll do it on line 7, and that's about where I am. Then you run it, and we are on line 7 where we initialize x to 0. Keep an eye on all of these little things. Do next, PTR equals and x, next. Now is a good time to print what PTR has. Print the address of x to make sure they're both the same thing, which it should be. And you print star PTR, which is not anything because x is still 0. One more line, you execute that, then you do star PTR, and you notice it's pointing to 12. Now if you do next, we are taking, that is not executed that line yet, so do one more next, and print QPTR, pointing to nothing. Print, you can use the up arrow here as well and edit. Both of them are not pointing to anything. So now if I try to execute the next line, we have segmentation fault because we took RPTR and made it point to nothing by doing the statement. Okay, so if you meant to do it the other way around where you're saying QPTR equals PTR because PTR is pointing to something good because of our previous statements, then we are okay. But this statement is not okay because we're taking PTR and making it point to QPTR, which is not pointing to anything. Okay, so invalid address, depending on what you're doing in your program, could cause problems as well.